The silence that follows my declaration stretches like a chasm. Mother stares at me at her daughter, who is no longer just hers, and I watch her face cycle through a dozen emotions in as many seconds. Fear, rage, grief, and then, finally, something that chills me more than any of it. Cold, calculated determination. "His queen," she repeats, and her voice has changed. Gone is the hysteria, the desperate mother's panic. This voice is sharp as winter frost. "You truly believe that, don't you?" "It's not a belief. It's truth." "Truth." She laughs, and it's a terrible sound, brittle and broken. "Oh, my darling child, sit down, please." When I don't move, her expression hardens. "Sit down. If you're going to condemn yourself, at least do it with all the information." Something in her tone makes my stomach clench. "What are you talking about?" "The pomegranate." Mother's hands are shaking, but her voice is steady. "You think it's just a bargain? Just a pretty contract between lovers?" She closes her eyes, and when she opens them, they're wet with tears that look genuine. "Persephone, those seeds, they're not binding you to a bargain. They're initiating you into the trial of the Onyx Throne." The words mean nothing to me, but the way she says them with such weight, such horror, makes my pulse quicken. "What trial?" "The trial that's killed every other woman he's given that fruit to." The world tilts. "You're lying," I say, but my voice sounds distant, hollow. "I wish I was." Mother moves closer, and this time when she reaches for me, I don't pull away. Her hands are warm on my cold arms. "Do you really think you're the first? The first pretty thing he's lured into his darkness with promises of freedom and choice?" "Stub, there have been others. Persephone, nymphs, minor goddesses, mortals he found interesting." Her grip tightens. He gives them the same speech about choice and transformation. He shows them his beautiful, terrible kingdom. He makes them feel seen, and then he offers them the pomegranate, claiming it will make them his equal, his queen. I'm shaking my head, but she continues relentlessly. "The seeds don't just bind you to the underworld. They trigger a transformation, a trial that tests whether your magic is strong enough to withstand the power of death itself. Most of them," her voice cracks, "most of them burn from the inside out within days. Their magic consumes them, trying to adapt to darkness it was never meant to touch. The lucky ones die quickly, the others..." She closes her eyes. "The others scream for weeks before the end." "No." The word is barely a whisper. "No, he wouldn't. He's not looking for a wife, Persephone. He's looking for a weapon. Someone whose magic can survive the transformation, who can stand beside him as an equal in power. He doesn't love you." Each word is a knife between my ribs. "He's testing you. You're just his latest experiment." The garden spins around me. I think of Hades' gentle hands tending my wound, his reverent touch, the way he looked at me when I made the silver flowers bloom, the way he waited for me to choose. He was kind, I say, but even I can hear how weak it sounds. Of course he was kind. Mother's voice is almost pitying now. He had to be. How else could he get you to eat the seeds willingly? Force doesn't work. The magic requires choice, requires the victim to walk into the trap with open eyes. She cups my face, forcing me to meet her gaze. "You said it yourself, darling. You chose, and now you're going to die for it." I pull away from her, stumbling back. My hands are shaking. The bargain 6 months. will mean nothing if you don't survive the trial, and based on how quickly it usually manifests. She glances at my hands, and her face goes pale. You're already starting to change. Will mean nothing if you don't survive the trial, and based on how quickly it usually manifests. She reaches up, her hand trembling as she touches my face. You're already starting to change. Look at me. Look at your eyes. I meet her gaze, and her face goes pale with horror. What? My voice cracks. What's wrong with my eyes? They were blue, she whispers. Your eyes were the color of spring sky. But now, she pulls a small mirror from her robes with shaking hands, holding it up to my face. I look, and my breath stops. My eyes are fading. The blue I've known my entire life is washing out, becoming paler, almost colorless, and threading through the pale blue, like veins of precious metal, are lines of silver. They pulse with each heartbeat, spreading slowly but inexorably, turning my eyes into something that belongs to neither day nor night. No, I breathe, watching the silver creep further across my iris, even as I stare. The transformation has begun. Mother's voice breaks. Your magic is already changing, merging with the Underworld's power, and when you return to his realm, she closes her eyes. That's when the real trial will start, when the full weight of death's magic tries to consume you from within. She straightens her shoulders, and her expression shifts to something fierce and determined. All I can do is prepare you, make you strong enough that when the trial comes, you'll have a chance of surviving it. The world has narrowed to a pinpoint. The silver in my veins, the cold spreading through my chest, the memory of Hades' smile when I bit into the pomegranate. 6 seeds. For 6 months. Had he been counting down to my death? What do I do? The question comes out broken, desperate. Mother's expression hardens into something that looks almost like battle readiness. You fight, you train, and when he comes to collect you in 6 months, you make him regret ever thinking you'd be weak enough to die for him. The next 6 months are a descent into a different kind of darkness. Mother is relentless. Every day before dawn, she wakes me for training that leaves me gasping and bleeding, and stronger than I've ever been. First comes the physical training. A warrior named Chloris arrives with the first light, a dryad who once fought in the ancient wars between gods and titans. She's lean and scarred, with bark-brown skin and eyes like moss-covered stone. Her movements are liquid grace and brutal efficiency combined. Your magic won't save you if you can't move, she tells me the first morning, handing me a staff made of ironwood. The Dark King has millennia of combat experience. If you freeze, if you hesitate, you're dead. She doesn't go easy on me. Every dawn, we spar until my muscles scream and my hands bleed from gripping the staff. She teaches me how to fight like the wild things, unpredictable, vicious, using every advantage, how to read an opponent's weight distribution, how to turn defense into attack in a heartbeat, how to kill, if necessary. Faster, she barks as I stumble through a combination. He won't wait for you to catch your breath. Again, by the time the sun fully rises each day, I'm covered in bruises and scrapes. But I'm learning. My body is becoming a weapon as sharp as my magic. Then Mother takes over, teaching me that spring magic isn't just about gentle growth and pretty flowers. It's about the violence of roots breaking through stone, the ruthlessness of vines that strangle and consume, the poison in beautiful petals, the thorns that tear flesh. Your magic was always meant to be a weapon, She tells me as I practice turning rose stems into whips that crack like lightning. I just tried to keep you soft, keep you safe. But soft won't survive what's coming. The silver in my veins spreads slowly, inexorably. It creeps up my arms, threads through my chest, makes my magic feel different, colder, sharper, more dangerous. Sometimes it burns, and I wake up screaming. Sometimes it feels like ice in my blood, and I can't get warm no matter how many fires Mother builds. But I don't die. Mother says it's because my magic is adapting, learning to coexist with the darkness instead of being consumed by it. She says it means I might actually survive the full transformation. She never says what I'll become, if I do. I train with the dryads and nature spirits Mother summons. They teach me combat, strategy, how to use the earth itself as a weapon. I learn to command plants with a thought, to make gardens into killing fields, to wrap enemies in vines that drain life instead of giving it. And through it all, I nurture my rage. I think of Hades every day, and each memory that once brought warmth now brings fury. His gentle touch becomes manipulation in my mind. His beautiful kingdom becomes a trap designed to ensnare me. His words about choice become the cruelest lie of all. He made me feel seen, feel chosen, feel free. And all of it was theatre, a performance designed to make me willing to walk into my own execution. Sometimes, in the darkest hours of night, I remember the way he looked at me, the reverence in his voice when he called me perfect, the vulnerability when he admitted his loneliness, and I hate him more for making those memories feel real. I hate him more for making me miss him even now. The worst part is that I still hate the surface. The relentless sunshine feels like an assault after the gentle blue flames of the underworld. The cloying sweetness of Mother's flowers makes me nauseous. The suffocating perfection of the eternal spring garden presses in on me like invisible walls. Still a cage, just a different kind than before. I find myself drawn to the edges again, to the boundary where Mother's garden meets the dark forest, the forest where I first met him. There, the sickening sweetness fades. The air grows cooler, sharper. The silence between the ancient trees reminds me distantly, painfully, of the vast quiet of his realm. I walk there when I can, breathing in the scent of moss and shadow instead of jasmine and rose, letting the coolness seep into my skin. Mother catches me there once and drags me back with tears in her eyes, convinced I'm trying to return to him. She doesn't understand that I'm not trying to go back. I'm just trying to breathe. Deep down, I know I was happier below, in the darkness, in the cold silence that let me breathe, in a kingdom that felt more like home than this place ever has. But I bury those thoughts deep, crushing them under layers of rage and betrayal. They're just more proof of his manipulation, more evidence of how thoroughly he corrupted me. Of course, the darkness felt good, it was designed to. Of course, his realm felt like home. That was the trap. One night, I dream of him. I'm back in his library, surrounded by books and blue flames that dance like spirits. He's there, standing by the window that shouldn't exist, looking out at his kingdom. When he turns to face me, his silver eyes hold that same intensity that once made my breath catch. "You came back," he says, and his voice is softer than I remember, vulnerable. I didn't mean to, but I'm walking toward him anyway, drawn like a moth to flame. He doesn't move, just watches me approach with something achingly tender in his expression. When I'm close enough to touch, he raises his hand slowly, giving me every chance to pull away. His fingers brush my cheek, and the cold of his touch sends electricity racing down my spine. "I've missed you," he whispers, and the rawness in his voice makes my chest tight. I should pull away, should scream at him, accuse him, hurt him the way he hurt me. Instead, I find myself leaning into his palm, my eyes closing as his thumb traces my lower lip with devastating gentleness. This isn't real. I breathe, but I don't step back. Does that matter? His other hand finds my waist, pulling me closer until I can feel the cold radiating from him, raising goosebumps along my arms. If this is all we have, these stolen moments in dreams, does it matter if it's real? His forehead rests against mine, and we stand like that, breathing the same air, existing in the space between what was and what might have been. His hands on my body are reverent, possessive but gentle, tracing patterns on my waist that make heat pool low in my belly despite the cold of his touch. "I hate you," I whisper against his lips, and the words taste like lies. I know. His mouth hovers over mine, close enough that I can feel the promise of a kiss, but not quite touching. The tension between us is unbearable, electric. Hate me all you want. Just don't stop thinking of me. I wake gasping, my skin flushed, despite the cool night air, my body aching with want and shame in equal measure. The dream clings to me like smoke, and I can still feel the ghost of his hands on my waist, his breath on my lips. I hate him, I remind myself, pressing my palms against my burning eyes. But my traitorous body doesn't seem to remember why. I don't tell Mother about the dream, or the ones that follow, because there are more, each one a little more intense, a little more dangerous, each one leaving me confused and furious, and desperately wishing they would stop, wishing they would never stop. The dreams affect my training. I find myself distracted during combat drills, my mind wandering to the ghost of his touch, the sound of his voice. Chloris has to snap at me more than once when I miss a block or fumble a strike. "Where's your head, goddess?" she demands after I take a particularly hard hit to the ribs. "Somewhere in the dark, with silver eyes and cold hands." Mother notices too. She catches me staring into nothing during magic practice, my fingers absently tracing my own lips, like I'm trying to recreate a sensation that only exists in dreams. "Persephone," her voice is sharp with concern. "You're not focused. What's wrong?" "Nothing." I force myself back to the present, to the suffocating garden and the weight of her expectations. "Just nerves. The 6 months are almost up." She searches my face, and I see the fear there that I'm slipping away from her, that his corruption runs deeper than she thought. But she accepts the lie because the alternative is worse. "Then we train harder," she says, "until you're ready for whatever he throws at you." I nod and throw myself back into the exercises, using exhaustion to chase away the lingering warmth of dream touches and phantom kisses. It doesn't work. I won't let myself remember the peace I felt there. Won't let myself acknowledge that even now, surrounded by spring's abundance, I feel more imprisoned than I ever did in his obsidian palace. The silver has spread to my heart by the time the deadline approaches. I can feel it with every beat. Cold, crystalline, alien. My magic has changed too. When I make things grow now, they come out twisted, beautiful, in a dark way that would have horrified me 6 months ago. Silver-tinged leaves, thorns like black glass, flowers that bloom at midnight and close at dawn. I'm becoming something that belongs to neither light nor darkness. Something in between, something new. Mother says it means I'm winning. that I'm surviving the trial instead of being destroyed by it. I think it means I'm becoming exactly what he wanted. A weapon. The thought makes me want to destroy something. 3 days before the deadline, Mother gathers her forces. Dryads emerge from every tree in the garden. Naiads rise from streams and ponds. Spirits of flower and vine and thorn answer her call, creating an army that fills the garden with green gold light. He'll come for you, Mother says, standing at the center of her power. The contract demands it, but he'll find you ready. He'll find you strong. And if he thinks he can take you back to that cursed realm, to finish whatever dark experiment he's started, her eyes flash. He'll learn that spring has thorns. I should feel protected, defended. Instead, I feel like prey, waiting for the predator's return. The day arrives like an execution. The sun rises, as it always does, painting the sky in shades of gold and pink that hurt to look at. I've learned to hate the brightness, the way it shows every detail with merciless clarity. Give me the soft blue flames of the underworld, the gentle shadows that hide as much as they reveal. The thought makes me furious. Even now, even knowing what he did, part of me still misses his kingdom. I bury the feeling under rage and wait. The change comes at noon. One moment, it's a perfect spring day. The next, the temperature plummets. Frost spreads across the grass, despite the season, despite Mother's power fighting against it. The sun dims, as if something vast and dark has passed in front of it, and the shadows grow teeth. They stretch from beneath trees, from behind flowers, from nowhere and everywhere at once. They writhe and twist like living things, spreading across the garden in an unstoppable tide. Where they touch, color drains away, flowers wilt, grass dies. Even the air tastes of cold stone and deep earth. Mother's army shifts nervously, their natural magic recoiling from the overwhelming presence of death. Then reality tears open. It's not a portal or a doorway. It's a wound in the world itself, darkness bleeding through into daylight. And through it steps the King of the Dead. He's nothing like the man who showed me his library and tended my wounds. This is Hades as the mortal world sees him, terrible and vast, and utterly without mercy. Shadows cling to him like a living cloak, writhing with faces that might be souls or nightmares or both. His eyes burn silver bright in the darkness, and when he moves, reality seems to bend around him, unable to contain his power. He doesn't ride a chariot. He doesn't need to. He simply walks forward, and the earth itself splits beneath his feet, creating a path of black stone through Mother's garden. No, Mother steps forward, power blazing around her like a sun. You will not take her. Hades doesn't even look at her. His eyes find me across the garden, and the weight of his gaze is a physical thing, heavy and cold and inescapable. Persephone, my name is Thunder and Avalanche, the sound of tombs closing. It's time. She knows your secret. Mother's voice cracks like a whip. She knows about the trial, about the others you've killed. She won't go willingly this time, monster. For just a moment, something crosses his face, confusion, sharp and genuine. His silver eyes flick to me, then to Mother, and I watch understanding dawn in his expression. Not guilt, not shame, just cold, furious comprehension of what's been done. His gaze shifts to Demeter, and the look he gives her could freeze suns. Accusatory, disgusted, but he says nothing to her. doesn't dignify her lies with a response. "The bargain stands," he says, and his voice is colder than I've ever heard it. 6 months in each realm. She agreed. She sealed it with her choice. My choice was a lie. The words tear out of me before I can stop them. I step forward, and the silver in my veins pulses with my rage. "You manipulated me, pretended to care. Also, I'd be fool enough to eat your cursed fruit and become your experiment." He doesn't deny it, doesn't defend himself. His jaw tightens, and something that might be pain flashes through his eyes before his expression goes cold and hard as obsidian. "Think what you will," he says quietly, and there's an edge to his voice I've never heard before. Anger, barely leashed. "Believe her poison if it comforts you." Before I can respond, Mother's army attacks. Vines erupt from the earth, reaching for him with strangling intent. Dryads hurl spears of living wood. Naiads send torrents of water crashing toward him like tsunami waves. Hades doesn't even move. The shadows around him surge forward, and they're not just darkness, they're hungry. They swallow the attacks whole, drinking in the magic like wine. Vines wither to dust. Spears dissolve. Water freezes and shatters, and still he walks forward, unstoppable as death itself, his expression carved from ice and fury. Persephone. My name on his lips is a command, not a request. No. I throw everything I have at him, thorns like daggers, vines like serpents, flowers that explode into clouds of choking pollen. I won't go back to die in your kingdom. He catches my attack with shadows, absorbing it effortlessly. And then, faster than thought, he's in front of me. His hand closes around my wrist, not hard enough to hurt, but firm enough to stop my magic. Up close, his eyes are devastating, burning with something between fury and something darker I can't name. He doesn't speak, doesn't try to convince me or comfort me. The shadows surge up around us both, wrapping around me like chains made of midnight. I fight, thrashing against them, but they're impossibly strong. They bind my wrists, my ankles, pulling me tight against his chest. "No!" I scream, genuine terror cutting through the rage. The silver in my veins burns ice cold, responding to his proximity, to his power. "Please, don't." His arms band around me, one hand cradling the back of my head. Not gently, not the way he used to, but with the iron certainty of someone claiming what belongs to him. When he speaks, his voice is rough, edged with anger, and something that sounds almost like hurt. "Hate me if you must," he says against my hair. "Believe every lie she's whispered in your ear. Rage and fight, and curse my name for eternity if that's what you need. But you're still coming home. I hate you." I sob against his chest, even as his scent wraps around me cold stone and smoke, and something achingly familiar. I know. His grip tightens, possessive and unyielding. The shadows around us thicken as the world starts to dissolve. "You can scream it at me for the next 6 months if it pleases you. You can try to kill me for all I care, but you're mine now, Persephone. The bargain is sealed, and I always collect what's owed." The world starts to dissolve, the bright garden fading into shadow and mist. I hear Mother screaming, feel her magic clawing at the darkness, trying to pull me away. But Hades is too strong, the contract too binding, his fury too absolute. As the light disappears, and we sink into his realm of shadow and silver flame, his voice is the last thing I hear, cold and hard and utterly final. Welcome back, my queen. Now do whatever you want with your hatred. It changes nothing. And that is the end of part 3. Now, I have to ask you, who do you believe? Is Demeter telling the truth about the deadly trial? Or is she the one spinning the web of lies? Let me know your theories in the comments below. If this story has you hooked, please hit the like button and subscribe to Thorns and Desires. Part 4 will bring fire, fury, and the truth. Until next time, remember that even the darkest shadows can't hide the light.